I honor the boy within, realigning with the man that is growing. This is a saying that I created for myself to act as a reminder throughout my journey that there is that kid inside me, that curiosity, that imagination that lies within me. Yet I am growing. I do have responsibilities. I do have new choices and new things to think about outside of just that kid-like eyesight per se. And so I have this phrase to act as an honoring, to the child that still exists within me, but to also act as the man that I'm growing up to be. So I'm going to say it one more time. I honor the boy within, realigning with the man that is growing. And you see, I feel it is this honoring that once returned back to ourselves, to our inner relationship, but also back to earth, back to our connections with people, that we can begin to see the change that we wish to see. And so I dropped a video on Instagram a while back talking about how desire is a part of our human nature, yet what has happened in this physical realm is that the sacredness of desire has been stripped away and turned it into a very profitable thing from your advertisements, from your entertainment, and all these other things that arise to enact our desire and get us to go buy something. And also, on our sexual pleasures, desire has been turned into a, very surface level, quick satisfaction thing with Pornhub. And so why I bring this up is because it's this perspective and this systematic and conscious, way of thinking that I feel has stripped honor from our relationship with ourselves. And so touching up on two of the videos that we've gone over on this channel here at Elevated Talk, that being the subconscious one, talking about how our subconscious connects us with our inner child, and that being our ancestor ones, talking about how our ancestors live within us right now. And why I bring that up is because how I live my experience is with these connections: my inner child, my ancestors, and my higher self. I don't know if y'all can hear that beep, but there was just a beep for a confirmation. And so why I bring this up, this kind of sets us up for the lore for today's video, which we always enter with some preface to the lore. And so when we begin to connect with these versions of ourselves, and if you want to know how to connect, go check out those videos. When we begin to connect with these versions of ourselves, and when I say versions of ourselves, I dive deeper into that in the last videos, understanding that they are a part of us, they are us experiencing this life and this physical through us, right? Our ancestors, our inner child, and our higher self. When we begin to connect with them, we begin to see what is blocking them from living out their purpose, living out in their complete freedom. And when I say that, this is why it's important to connect with all of them, because it's going to be different for each of them, right? And I say them right now because we're looking at it from different versions of ourselves, but at the core, it's when we experience this, when you go out and practice what we talked about in all the videos and the videos right now, it'll be you experiencing this, but through a connection and almost like an inner dialogue with, whether it's your inner child or whether it's your ancestors or your higher self, right? And so what I mean by this is, as we talked about in the subconscious video, when you go back and you recognize why it is you view a certain why it is you have a certain perception, because it's rooted in a traumatic experience. And so when you go back and you sit down and you feel that and you understand where it's coming from, you ask that question, you journal, you read, and begin to understand the energetics behind things, begin to understand yourself on a deeper level, you find the root to that. And that root can be rooted in your inner child. And so when you go back and you sit with yourself and you begin to talk to your inner child and you free that inner child, now that inner child, it is birthed with creativity, it's birthed with imagination. But how you could experience that possibly is now you get birthed with creativity. You in this present moment get birthed with imagination. And this goes to the nature cycles video, talking about how we do not experience time in this linear way. Past, present, and future, they all exist right now. So when you take time to sit down and go beyond this physical and travel back to, what's holding on your energy, and you see that is rooted in your inner child, this is allowing you to literally travel back in time, sit with your inner child, and free that energy, right? Free that inner child from the traumatic experience that they, them, she, he is holding on to. And from there, it frees that inner child within you for that inner child to create, for that inner child to be expressive, which correlates to you now becoming more expressive and creative. And so, connecting it to the ancestors, our ancestors may have transitioned from this realm holding on to some grief. And so when we choose to pick up the mantle and choose to become the generational breaker, we now hold that responsibility. And so when we connect with our ancestors, creating that altar and diving deeper into the video I mentioned, right? I know I keep mentioning all the videos, but it's just because if you have any questions, they're more likely than answered in the videos that I'm talking about. And so when we begin to connect with our ancestors, we can heal those generational curses, which frees them from their bondage, but also gives us the knowledge to continue to walk in this physical. And now when it comes to our higher self can be looked at as a multitude of things, but simply to put it, it's just that part of ourselves that is not bound by this physical realm. You can look at it as it could be a part of your past lives, it can be a part of your different soul transformations and things like that, but we're going to keep it at higher self to keep it simple. And so why I feel honoring is so important is because when we choose to take moments, to take times of reflections, to sit with our own energy, to get to know our own inner almost like an inner team, like your spiritual team, right? So your spiritual team can look like many things based on your perception of spirituality and what you choose to know in, right? But for me, my spiritual team is my inner child, my ancestors, and my higher self, right? And so it's almost like if you ever seen that montage where a movie they go through gathering the team, and right, so they can they get in them and they getting ready to, like, I'm trying to think of a cool ass montage. Like, it's like it happens in spy movies when they're like, oh, he's in a different country, and then you're like, you ready to join the team, blase blase, right? And so when you are going in and you're connecting with your inner child, you're freeing your inner child, you're doing the inner work, you're integrating your shadow, you're understanding why it is you have this thought. You're not afraid of your darkness, but you choose to use it to channel it into birthing something new. And you're listening to your ancestors, and you're choosing to accept them and honor them and things like that. And you're the way you connect with your higher self is through moving in a more high vibratory state, choosing to embody your high knowing. Basically, everything we've talked about here on the channel is to help you embody and connect with your higher self. And so when you start to do that, you are honoring your own energetic team. You are honoring yourself basically on all levels. And why I feel this is so important, especially in this age right now, is because this honoring has been stripped away. Society has told us, oh, this is what it looks like to be a man. This is what it looks like to be a woman. This is what you have to do. And we can get wrapped up in all of these low vibratory, states of perception and things like that. And everybody, or especially right now when I'm shooting this video, the election just happened, and everybody is putting so much power on these external things, right? Religion taught us to look externally for things, but in truth, it's when we choose to honor our inner connection. It's when we choose to explore our inner universe. Is when we begin to expand. It's when we begin to create the inner change, which then manifests into the external change that we wish to see. But for me, I feel like it starts with honoring, right? Honoring your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it, right? And it's not to be like, if I don't do it, beat yourself up, but honestly, be real with yourself. Okay, like if I set a goal, right, whether it be a high goal, low goal, whatever, like strive for it, go for it. There's a reason why you set that goal, because there's something in you that knows you can go and do it. And this goes into your inner connection. If you are tired, or if you are recognizing how certain things are happening in your experience, it first takes awareness of two things. Awareness of the habits and what's happening, but then awareness and the fact that, okay, I have the power to change. And I feel when we start to honor the actual knowledge that we're receiving, honor the actual honor our actual ability to change. I feel like when we connect with those parts of ourselves and choose to listen to our higher knowing, choose to honor our inner child by choosing to create and not live from fear, choose to honor our ancestors by choosing to walk in their traditions, to honor them and their natural ways of living, choose to honor our higher self by walking in our highest embodiment. When we bring that honor back to our lives, I genuinely, and I've seen it in my experience, I feel like things just change. You create this foundation with yourself that's not rooted in a fleeting, very shaky confidence or very shaky foundation because it's rooted in external things, but it's rooted in an honoring of your inner team, an honoring of your inner self. And I feel like when we return back to that, just going off the first thing I said, when we return back to that, that's when I feel like the true power, the true things can start to happen in this reality. But it starts with us choosing to honor ourselves. And y'all all know the saying, when we heal ourselves, we are healing the collective, because we are all connected and we each hold a different unique mission. And it's about choosing to connect with ourselves so that we can learn about our mission, learn about our purpose, and honor ourselves, honor our soul by actually using our power to go out here and create, to go out here and be expressive and use our voice and use, whatever you're called to do to create change in this world, to create whatever it is you're called to do. So that's my spiel. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. My name is Mark Anthony. All right, if you wish to support, I got a couple ways. All right, you can share this video. Everybody deserves to know the power of honoring. You can like, you can subscribe, but you could also go check out Elevated Oasis, which is in the link description below. All right, if you're looking to start your healing journey, I dropped a beautiful divine chakra course, which just talks about ways to heal ourselves through understanding the energetic seals within, right? And those energetic seals are attached to why it is we have certain habits, why it is we have certain perceptions, because they have been influenced by society, influenced by our external. So by going through this, we begin to redirect our energy inward, allowing for us to heal and now become the influencers of our reality and not vice versa. Okay, so that's my spiel. All right, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Cosmic Show. All right, Elevated Talk. And I'm going to catch y'all guys in the next one. All right. Much love.